former President Donald Trump has been ordered to pay nearly $355 million and has now been barred from doing any business in New York for 3 years. This decision is part of a verdict in his New York civil fraud trial. A judge announced the ruling late this afternoon, also barring Trump from getting loans from New York banks over the next 3 years and ordering him and his companies to pay millions of dollars. His adult sons have been ordered to pay $4 million each. Trump was already found guilty of exaggerating his wealth on financial statements that were given to banks and insurers to make deals and get loans. New York Attorney General Letitia James had been seeking $370 million. Trump is expected to appeal this decision.
What's happening? Friends, Adam is here. So what just happened? Trump just got hit with a $355 million judgment plus $100 million in interest and penalties, all due in 30 days. And unlike his usual playbook, there's no appeal, no loophole, no delay tactic to hide behind. The money is owed, the ruling stands, and the clock is already ticking.
So the clock starts ticking once it's finalized.
That's right. So from whenever it is finalized, Trump will have 30 days to appeal and 30 days to post $355 million plus $100 million in interest. So a lot of money. He'll have to put that together either by posting the cash himself or getting a bond that can be backed by collateral, some of his properties. But he'll have, about 30 days, and that includes the weekends. So if you kind of can guesstimate if this judgment does become final soon, that means he could have to foot this bill right when he's about to go to trial on the criminal hush money charges.
Wow.
Now let us talk about the devilish timing, because this did not happen in a vacuum. Trump is staring down impeachment. His own party is sprinting for the exits. Federal judges are lining up against him. And right in the middle of this perfect storm, he gets leveled by the single largest financial hit of his entire life. $355 million is not some manageable legal nuisance you hand off to your lawyers to nibble down.
Tonight, new developments in the former president's New York civil fraud case. Trump requested a delay in paying the $355 million penalty, and now a judge has said no. CNN's Kara Scannell joins us now with the latest. What was the reasoning the judge gave?
So Trump had asked for this delay because of the magnitude, this $355 million judgment. And the judge said that he did not provide, as he put it, he failed to explain, much less justify, any basis for a delay. And this is because the New York Attorney General's office had written up a proposed judgment, and they were saying they wanted some time to look at it. The judge is saying this matches my order exactly, so we're going to move forward.
This is a financial catastrophe. This is the kind of ruling that buries people. This is the kind of number that destroys empires. And Trump, being exactly who he has always been, did exactly what he always does. He lost his mind. He cleared the Oval Office in a blind rage. He fired staffers on the spot. He flooded Truth Social with unhinged rants, threatening judges, threatening investigations, promising retribution. He called judges tyrants.
Donald Trump made a "my lips are sealed" gesture outside his civil fraud trial today, but he was anything but tight-lipped on the stand.
Extraordinary tension inside that courtroom, with Donald Trump really pushing and pushing and pushing the judge.
Trump sure looked ready for a fight as he glared at the camera. He clashed with Judge Arthur Engoron from the moment he took the stand, giving long speeches instead of yes and no answers. This is a very, very unfair trial. Very, Trump complained. Control your client, the judge told Trump's attorneys. If you can't, I will. He even snapped at lawyer Alina Habba, telling her to sit down when she insisted maybe he should listen to Trump's long-winded rants.
His language was genuinely unhinged because deep down, Trump understands exactly what this judgment means. This is not just another legal loss. This is financial annihilation. And when you stack that on top of impeachment, on top of party abandonment, on top of judicial isolation, you get one explosive result: removal from power. Let us get real for a second about what $355 million actually looks like in practical terms. This is not some theoretical number on a legal document. This is real money that has to come out of real accounts.
That penalty split between Trump, his companies, his sons, and his former chief financial officer. And in addition to the money that he'll have to pay, Trump is barred from serving as an officer or director of any New York corporation for 3 years.
All right, let's get straight to Fox 5's Antoine Lewis is live in the newsroom with a full breakdown of the judge's decision. Antoine.
This decision came down around 3 this afternoon. A lot to get to, and as you pointed out, Steve, a lot to break down. But here it is. What it breaks down to for the former president, specifically nearly $355 million is the amount that former President Donald Trump and his companies have been ordered to pay in the state civil fraud trial. Now, Attorney General Letitia James had initially asked for $370 million when this suit was filed.
This is cash that has to actually transfer to cover this judgment. And here is the brutal truth. Trump does not have $355 million sitting around in liquid assets. Nobody does. So what happens now? He sells assets. He liquidates properties. He unwinds real estate deals. He scrambles to raise cash however he can. And in doing all of that, he accidentally reveals exactly how shaky his financial house actually is. Judge Ingram, the judge on this case, did not just slap Trump with a fine. He issued a ruling that completely rejected Trump's entire approach to business. The judge called Trump's conduct shocking. The judge said Trump engaged in persistent fraud. Then came the real dagger. The judge banned Trump from doing business in New York for years. Years. That means Trump cannot sign new deals in the state where his entire real estate empire was built. Trump Tower, Trump Park Avenue, all those properties, all those businesses, he cannot run them. He cannot be involved. He is essentially locked out of New York business. And that is absolutely devastating because New York is where Trump's money lives. New York is where his real estate empire stands. New York is where his wealth actually exists. So banning him from business in New York for years is essentially a financial execution. It is the system saying we are going to destroy your ability to generate new income. We are going to lock you out of your primary business market. We are going to leave you with existing assets but no way to leverage them, no way to refinance them, no way to use them to create new value. But here is what you need to understand. The $355 million judgment is just the headline. The real damage is the business ban. The real damage is that Trump cannot operate in New York anymore. The real damage is that his entire financial infrastructure is essentially frozen. He has existing properties generating some income, sure, but he cannot do new deals. He cannot expand. He cannot refinance. He cannot leverage his properties to raise capital. He is locked in place. His finances are frozen. And this is happening at the absolute worst possible moment because Trump is drowning in other crises simultaneously. Impeachment is barreling forward. Senate Republicans are signaling they will vote for conviction. Federal judges are moving against him on contempt charges and other legal issues. The DOJ is in chaos. His administration is collapsing. His party is abandoning him. His base is fracturing. And now, on top of all of that, he gets crushed by this $355 million judgment that basically cripples his finances. This is what people mean when they talk about death by 1,000 cuts. It is not one single blow that kills you. It is the combination of blows happening at the exact same time. It is impeachment and financial judgment and judicial isolation and party abandonment all converging in the same moment. Each one alone would be serious. Combined, they become existential. Combined, they become removal-level threats. Combined, they become the kind of pressure that forces a president out of office. But here is what makes this moment completely different from anything Trump has faced before. This is not some political attack he can counter with social media posts. This is not some judicial ruling he can appeal into oblivion. This is not some congressional action he can negotiate around. This is a financial judgment that is final. The ruling has been issued. The decision has been made. The only question now is how Trump is going to deal with it, how he is going to come up with the money, how he is going to comply with the business ban, how he is going to restructure his financial empire to survive this blow. And the answer is, he probably cannot. Because combined with everything else that is happening, combined with impeachment moving forward, combined with his party abandoning him, combined with federal judges moving against him, this financial judgment probably tips the scale toward removal, probably tips the scale toward the end of his presidency, probably tips the scale toward the final collapse. So let us really understand what this judgment actually means beyond the raw dollar amount. The $355 million is significant, no question. But what is more significant is what the judgment represents. It represents a court saying that Trump's entire approach to business, his entire methodology, his entire worldview is fundamentally fraudulent. The judge did not just say Trump made mistakes. The judge did not just say Trump bent some rules. The judge said Trump engaged in shocking and persistent fraud. That is a legal and moral indictment of everything Trump has built his career on. And that indictment matters because it establishes a pattern. It establishes that Trump is not just a businessman who sometimes cuts corners. It establishes that Trump is a fraudster, that his entire business empire is built on deception, that Trump inflates assets, lies about values, misrepresents properties to get better financing. That is the core of who Trump is as a businessman. The judge essentially documented that. The judge essentially created a record that says Trump is a fraud, and that record now exists. That judgment now exists, and it cannot be undone. The business ban is even more devastating than the money. Years of not being able to do business in New York. Years of being locked out of his primary market. Years of watching his competitors, his rivals, his enemies operating freely in New York while he is essentially frozen out. Do you understand how crushing that is for someone like Trump? Trump is a builder. Trump is a real estate guy. Trump's entire identity is wrapped up in the ability to make deals, to develop property, to build things. And now the court is taking that away from him. Think about what this means practically. Trump has buildings in New York that need refinancing. Trump has properties that need capital investment. Trump has deals that need to be done. And now he cannot be directly involved in any of it. He cannot sign the papers. He cannot be the operator. He cannot be the face of it. He has to use proxies. He has to use lawyers. He has to use accountants, which means everything is more expensive. Everything takes longer. Everything is more complicated. And this comes right as Trump is facing all these other crises, right as he is facing impeachment, right as his party is abandoning him, right as federal judges are moving against him, right as his administration is collapsing. This is the worst possible time for Trump to get his finances crippled because Trump needs liquidity right now. Trump might need to hire more lawyers. Trump might need to post bonds. Trump might need to have cash available for various legal proceedings. And instead, he is going to be forced to liquidate assets to pay this judgment. And when Trump liquidates assets, when Trump sells real estate, when Trump unwinds deals, everybody notices. The markets notice. His competitors notice. Potential buyers notice. And they all start circling. They all start thinking, okay, Trump is in trouble. Trump needs cash. Trump is desperate. And when everybody knows you are desperate, nobody wants to pay fair value for your assets. Nobody wants to pay market price. Everybody wants a discount. Everybody wants to take advantage of your weakness. So Trump ends up selling properties for less than they are worth, selling at a loss, destroying value, destroying his own net worth in the process. This is the kind of financial spiral that is very hard to escape from. Once it starts, it accelerates. Once creditors know you are in trouble, they start calling in loans. Once lenders know you need cash, they stop giving you credit. Once the market knows you are selling, the price of everything you own starts dropping. It becomes self-reinforcing. It becomes a downward spiral that is almost impossible to stop. And Trump is about to enter that spiral. He has got 30 days to come up with $355 million. He does not have it. He is going to have to sell stuff. And once he starts selling, the spiral accelerates. Creditors get nervous. Lenders stop extending credit. The market smells blood. And Trump's financial position deteriorates rapidly. Meanwhile, Trump is also facing all these other pressures. Impeachment moving forward. Senate Republicans moving toward conviction. Federal judges signaling arrest warrants. The DOJ in chaos. His administration collapsing. This judgment hit him at exactly the moment when he has the least resources to deal with it, when his attention is divided, when his administration is distracted, when his legal team is overwhelmed dealing with impeachment, with judicial issues, with all these other crises, and now they have got to drop everything and deal with the $355 million judgment. This is the kind of convergence that breaks people. This is the kind of moment where everything is going wrong simultaneously. Politically, financially, legally, administratively, everything is collapsing at the same time. And there is no escape hatch. There is no legal maneuver that saves him. There is no political deal that fixes this. There is no financial trick that makes this go away. He has to pay this judgment. He has to comply with the business ban. He has to deal with the consequences. The Trump Organization is also facing separate fines and penalties from this case. Total co-defendant fines hitting $465 million. That is additional money beyond Trump's personal judgment that the organization has to pay. Which means Trump has got to come up with money not just for his personal judgment, but for the organization's judgment too, which multiplies the financial pressure, which accelerates the need for asset sales. And all of this is happening while Trump is watching his approval rating collapse. His approval is down to 34%. 34. That is the kind of approval rating that ends presidencies. That is the kind of number that tells you the public has turned against you completely. And when the public turns against you, when your approval rating is that low, that tells Congress something. That tells senators something. That tells judges something. That tells everybody something. It says, this guy has lost the confidence of the American people. This guy is finished. We can move against him without political consequence. So Trump is facing a perfect storm. Financial pressure from the judgment. Political pressure from Congress. Judicial pressure from the courts. Approval rating pressure from the public. Party abandonment pressure from his own Republican senators. It is all converging simultaneously. It is all pointing toward the same conclusion. Trump is in serious trouble. Trump is facing removal. Trump is facing the possibility of bankruptcy. Trump is facing the possibility of jail. And there is nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to run. Let us break down what this financial judgment means for Trump's political future and whether he can actually survive this. The simple answer is probably not. The $355 million judgment, combined with all the other pressures, combined with impeachment, combined with judicial isolation, combined with party abandonment, is probably fatal. First, the judgment forces asset liquidation at the exact worst time. Trump needs to sell stuff. Trump needs to raise cash. And when you are forced to sell, when you are under a deadline, when everybody knows you are desperate, you sell at terrible prices. You sell at a loss. You destroy value. And once you start destroying value, once you start showing weakness, the whole financial structure starts to crumble. Lenders get nervous. Creditors start demanding payment. The market starts circling. And Trump's financial position deteriorates rapidly. This matters because financial pressure is a form of pressure that actually affects Trump. You can criticize Trump politically. You can move against him in Congress. You can vote for impeachment. Trump can survive all of that. Trump has survived impeachment before. But you cannot make financial pressure go away. You cannot tweet your way out of owing $355 million. You cannot negotiate your way out of it. You cannot appeal your way out of it. The judgment is final. The money is owed and the consequences are inevitable. The business ban is devastating because it cuts off future income. Trump does not just have assets. Trump generates ongoing income from his real estate business. Trump is constantly making new deals, constantly refinancing properties, constantly using his business to generate cash, and now that is cut off for years, which means Trump is stuck with his existing assets but no way to leverage them, no way to grow them, no way to use them to generate new value. He is essentially frozen in place financially. This is particularly devastating because Trump's entire brand is built on deals. Trump is a deal maker. Trump is someone who builds things, who makes money, who grows businesses. And now he cannot do that. He cannot operate in New York. He cannot make new deals. He cannot be the public face of new developments. He is sidelined. He is neutered. and that is devastating to his identity, to his brand, to his ability to generate future wealth. The judgment comes at a moment when Trump has no political allies who will help him. If Trump had Republican senators who were loyal to him, if Trump had a united party behind him, if Trump had judges who were sympathetic to him, he might be able to negotiate some kind of payment plan or restructuring, but he does not have that. He has got a Senate that is moving toward conviction. He has got judges who are moving against him. He has got a party that is abandoning him, so he has got no allies. He has got no help. He has got no way to delay or defer this judgment. The financial pressure accelerates the other pressures. Once Trump is forced to sell assets, once Trump is clearly in financial distress, that tells senators something. That tells the public something. That tells judges something. It tells everybody that Trump is in serious trouble, that Trump is desperate, that Trump is facing bankruptcy. And when senators know Trump is facing bankruptcy, they are more likely to vote for conviction because they are thinking, why should I defend this guy? Why should I risk my political career for someone who is about to go bankrupt, someone who is about to go to jail, someone who is clearly finished? So the financial judgment is not just a financial problem, it is a political signal. It is a signal that Trump is finished. It is a signal that Trump cannot govern. It is a signal that Trump is in serious trouble. And that signal cascades through the entire political system. It tells senators it is okay to abandon him. It tells judges it is okay to move against him. It tells the public it is okay to accept his removal. It is all interconnected. It is all part of the same collapse. The business ban raises the question of whether Trump can even legally be president while banned from doing business in New York. Can a president who is banned from business actually govern? Can a president who is under financial stress actually focus on the job? Can a president who is facing bankruptcy and legal consequences actually function as commander-in-chief? These are real questions, and they are questions that senators are going to think about. These are questions that judges are going to think about. These are questions that are going to come up in impeachment proceedings. So here is where we land. Trump is facing a perfect storm of pressure. Financial pressure from the judgment, political pressure from Congress, judicial pressure from the courts, approval rating pressure from the public, party abandonment pressure from senators. It is all converging. It is all pointing toward the same conclusion. Trump is finished. Trump is going to be removed. Trump is going to face financial consequences. Trump's entire world is collapsing simultaneously. The $355 million judgment is not just a number. It is a symbol. It is a symbol of Trump's legal defeats. It is a symbol of his financial weakness. It is a symbol of his inability to escape consequences. It is a symbol that the system is working against him, that the courts are rejecting him, that the financial system is crushing him, that his entire empire is threatened. And that symbol matters. That symbol tells everybody that Trump is in serious trouble. That symbol tells everybody that Trump is probably going to be removed. That symbol tells everybody that Trump's time is up. And Trump, watching all of this happen, is basically in a state of panic. He is firing staff. He is posting profane rants on social media. He is threatening judges. He is threatening investigations. He is acting like a man who knows he is finished because he probably is. Because this judgment combined with impeachment, combined with judicial isolation, combined with party abandonment, probably equals removal, probably equals the end of Trump's presidency. Probably equals the final nail in the coffin. This is the financial death blow. This is the moment when Trump's financial empire, which he has spent his entire life building, comes under threat. This is the moment when Trump realizes that money cannot protect him, that wealth cannot protect him, that his financial resources are not enough to buy his way out of this. This is the moment when Trump understands that he is actually vulnerable, that he is actually mortal, that he is actually going to face real consequences for his actions. And it is all happening in real time. Senate moving toward conviction, judges moving against him, financial judgment crushing him, and Trump trapped in the middle with nowhere to go. This is the collapse. This is what it looks like. Stay tuned, because next video we are diving into whether Trump files for bankruptcy before the Senate votes, whether he tries to resign to avoid removal, and whether the system actually lets him. This is the endgame. Do not miss it. What is absolutely critical to understand about this moment is that the financial judgment does not exist in a vacuum. It is not just about $355 million. It is about what that $355 million means when combined with everything else that is happening simultaneously. And what is happening is a convergence of crises that together create an exit velocity that Trump probably cannot escape. Think about the timeline. Senate Republicans are moving toward conviction. They have got polling showing that Trump is toxic to their midterm prospects. They have got internal numbers showing that their base is fracturing. They have got vulnerable seats in swing states, and they are doing a political calculus that says Trump has got to go. We need him out before the midterms. We need to remove him now while we can still position ourselves as the party that held him accountable. At the exact same time, federal judges are moving against him. Courts are vacating favorable rulings. Judges are authorizing contempt fines. Judges are documenting Trump's threats against the judiciary. Judges are unifying in their rejection of every legal argument Trump makes. The federal judiciary has essentially decided that Trump is a threat to the rule of law and is acting accordingly. At the exact same time, the DOJ is in complete chaos. Trump has fired people. People have resigned. The institutional integrity of the Justice Department has been shattered, and Trump is surrounded by people who are either incompetent or about to get arrested for their own conduct. And at the exact same time, Trump gets hit with a $355 million financial judgment that forces him to liquidate assets, that forces him to reveal his financial weakness, that forces him to comply with a business ban that cuts off his primary source of income. This is not a series of separate crises. This is political pressure and judicial pressure and financial pressure and administrative pressure all coming at Trump at the same time. And there is no escape valve. There is no release mechanism. There is nowhere for Trump to run. When senators know Trump is facing financial collapse, when senators know Trump might be bankrupt, when senators know Trump is desperate, they become more likely to vote for conviction because they are thinking, why am I defending this guy? Why am I risking my career? Why am I defending someone who is obviously finished? When judges know Trump is in financial distress, when judges know Trump is desperate, they become more likely to authorize arrest warrants, to impose contempt fines, to escalate their actions, because they are thinking, now is the time. We need to move decisively. We need to make sure he cannot escape consequences. And when Trump's base sees him in financial distress, when they see him desperate, when they see him losing, they abandon him even faster because Americans like winners. Americans like strength. Americans do not like weakness. And Trump is showing weakness. And that accelerates everything. This is the cascade. This is what happens when all the dominoes start falling at the same time. One domino alone might not be enough to topple Trump. But all the dominoes together, all the pressures at once, that is probably enough. That is probably removal.